All right, we are live on YouTube.
Yo, episode 88, Ben Ryan Chase, back at it again. It's been a fun time, a year for sports, as I've continuously said every week, and it's just getting better and better. But we got a pretty packed out show today. We're gonna touch on MLB free agents. Obviously that's out and about. Already one big signing so far this year.
Yeah.
Obviously doing NFL check-in. Ben wants to run through this weird GOAT rankings brought to you by the Athletic.
Just top 10.
Just a little top 10 GOAT ranking things, and then we'll finish out the show with the NBA. So
yeah,
let's get right into it.
Let's do it. So we did MLB free agents. We did a little. We're not going to go through all of it, but we did a little top 25 between the three of us. Kind of see. We missed, unfortunately, the MLB trade rumor challenge, even though we were looking for it this year. But we did top 25. Kikuchi off the board already. Angels. So did everyone pick Angels for Kikuchi?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Chase, did you not see that?
No, I didn't see it, but I just left it blank.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, we won't go through all of them. I think that we can go through like a couple of the top ones. Soto, Chase and I with the Mets. Ryan went with the Rangers.
Wow. Okay.
I like it. That's an interesting move. The Rangers do have some money coming off the books with like Scherzer, so there is potentially some money there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a big, in season game watcher type of guy. That's where I get my takes. That's where I learn the most about these players, sports. Who's doing what. Off season's not my strength, but I was able to grind out some research here. Just looking not off the top of my head, the Rangers had no one in the outfield that was that successful. That they would keep, all three long term. Rangers are a team I think they still want to compete. They literally won the World Series 2 years ago. I don't think they just want to fall off the earth. And they're known to have some big signings. Like Ben said, they do have some cap space. So
yeah,
they're going to sign someone big. I just, I'm not going to say Yankees for the Soto for him to go there, but
yeah. I think the other one, we all had Astros for Bregman, which is interesting. No real discrepancy there. Chase, me and you had the Nationals for Santander.
Wow. Okay.
So
That's
I did
surprising.
see the Nationals were in play for some of these guys. So
yeah, I figured they have to. They have so much money. They have to at least start to buy people at this point.
Yeah, I could see like Christian Walker also being potentially a guy, but I didn't put him for that.
Yeah, especially being an East Coast guy from Philly.
Yeah. Was there anyone that you guys put Phillies that you want them to get in that top? Because I know I put Mets for Soto. I honestly I won't mind if they get him, but I don't really want him. It's going to be too much money. You have to assume Soto by the age like 30, 31, he's an all-time like full-time DH. He's already not a great fielder. He's going to want like 12 years. I'd rather the Mets go like Corbin Burns and then get someone else with that. But
yeah, true. I didn't pick the Phillies to get any high price one. There's also just no one in here that really tickles my fancy as far as a Phillies free agent signing.
Yeah.
And real quick, we're talking about Soto. We got a comment in here from Danny Clark to the Yankees, 15-year, $730 million deal. Danny, I don't know. Is that something you want to see? I mean, that's a big bulk. I think they're already carrying a big load with.
They can afford it. I don't want the Mets to do that. So if the Yankees do that, by all means, that's an atrocious amount of money in years.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you put the Mets for him, but I don't know if you
even if he has a productive 10 years, which is incredible. You have 5 years of just dead cap space.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the comment there, Danny. I mean, I don't know if you're a Yankees fan or not, or if that's just your baseball take, but it's definitely possible. So
it's going to take a while, though. Soto's not going to sign for a hot minute.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, so just we'll monitor that as we go, and kind of just see how we do. We won't go through all of it right now, but just as the free agents kick off the board. We'll give all of us 1 point for Kikuchi. We all get a free
yeah. Was Bregman the only one we all picked the Astros on? Anybody else we matched up?
Not really. There's a couple with two. Like two of us had the same guy. But other than that, we all had different. Like Hoffman, two of us had back to the Phillies. Suzuki looks like all of us picked the Dodgers.
Yeah.
All of us picked,
Okay.
and I don't want that to happen, but
Yeah, I don't want that either. But just because of the salary implications, it just would make sense. And also, they have half of his team already on there.
yeah, no, I agree. So we'll keep monitoring, see how this goes, and hopefully it's a fun hot stove. Because I mean, look around the league a little bit, and the Angels, they've made already 5 moves. Of course, the Angels are active with Kikuchi. We talked about him, but then they also got Darno, Jorge Soler, Kyle Hendricks. Like they've been active early. So
yeah, signing guys that will not impact their season. I love it.
Yeah. And Danny Clark said Sasaki to the Padres. Yeah, I think generally a lot of times guys that come over want to stay on the West Coast. So,
yep.
Giants are probably in play too. Padres.
Giants are sleepy. They're definitely going to get someone.
Giants
big too.
always make the offer. They just haven't really landed the guy. they made the offer for Harper.
They've been trying.
Yep, Harper they tried to get. They didn't get him. Like there's been some big names they were trying to get. And it's weird because it's not like San Francisco is an unattractive place to play. Like it's a nice stadium. But
and also sorry I kept saying Danny. It is Donnie. He's listening right now. My apologies, Donnie.
Plus, it seems like at the end of the year, Buster Posey he didn't force his way into the front office, but it seemed like they were just willing to let him run everything, and then they canned their GM while that was all happening. So I wonder if Buster Posey now brings a different level to the Giants, and especially make it attractive for other free agents, because it seems like they can always get away with one guy but never get the haul.
Yeah. Nope, I agree. So we'll see. Monitor it as we go, and we'll I don't think we have much more to talk with MLB.
No.
That's about it. So move on to some football.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So pretty crazy week. Chase, sorry about fantasy.
It was a rough one.
Saw I won. I kind of stopped paying attention because I thought there was no shot. And then Barkley has the game of his life.
Yeah. And I had no idea you had LA's kicker. So the fact I just was looking at only my score and I was like, 115 money, we're going to tie. And then I peeked my eyes across and saw you finish with 126. And I was like, how did this happen? How did they stat correct and add on like 10 points?
I know he had a good day. And that was basically the matchup was one of us is going to have a chance to the playoffs and one is done.
Yeah.
So it's been competitive this year. Did you end up winning or not? I know you and Nuke were close.
No, I'm in dead last place.
We got another. Fantasy, sorry not to interrupt, but Donnie got another Cowboys fan here.
Oh, Donnie, yeah. I mean, let's touch on that, right? Fantasy is all three of us
Cowboys
are going to miss the playoffs. Yeah. So we do have one Cowboys fan here.
I still have a chance.
Here, no one here has a chance in the fantasy for our playoffs. But let's talk about this Cowboys game. My take, best game of the week. Just definitely biasness there, but the Commanders were on this hot streak, and boy, have they been humbled over the last 2 weeks. They're now sitting at 7-5, not as tasty for Jaden Daniels and his crew, but that was by far a wild game, a game I thought that they were going to lose, win, lose, and then they won. Yeah. Obviously, Kevontae Turpin's kickoff return, you love to see that, this dynamic kickoff. I hate how they call it that because it hasn't been dynamic. You still see so many touchbacks, but the fact that it goes right through his 5-hole, he picks it up, puts his right leg into the ground and just skirts two Commanders special teams guys to essentially steal the game at the time. A wild one for sure, but no, I 4-7. I'm not giving up hope yet. I know most Cowboys fans are. I still think they have a shot. The problem is they're essentially going to have to win out because the NFC North is just a powerhouse no one saw coming. The Lions, Vikings, and Packers, they're going to take 2 of the 3 wildcard spots, probably the top 2. So a game that they beat against the Commanders, in their division, and a team that they could be competing for the wild card spot, right? Because the Eagles, I think at this point, are probably going to get the division. So big win for the Cowboys. They got the Giants coming up on Thanksgiving. Should be another win. They should get to a 5-7. You should start seeing them on that in the hunt area when you're watching games on Sunday. So excited to see them pop in there and just makes the games more exciting to watch. I hate watching games where it's the season's already over, like Jets fans already. But
you guys are not gonna get in the playoffs, bro. I don't know where this.
I didn't say
from.
we were. I just said I haven't given up, and there could be in the hunt if they win on Thanksgiving.
Right now, the Jets have better seed in the AFC than the Cowboys in the NFC. Let that sink in, my guy.
What was that?
The Jets are higher up in the standings in the AFC than the Cowboys in the NFC.
That doesn't stress me out at all.
Okay.
So, where are the Jets at? Let's talk about your Jets. They had a bye. Good week
12th.
for them.
Yeah, great week for them.
3-8.
Idle. Nothing bad can happen.
Yeah, they're 12, sitting pretty at number 12 right now. Cowboys sitting at 14, so they got some work to do.
They do for sure. They do for sure. So, and real quick, I want to talk about the Ravens too, Chase, because obviously they emphasized the Harbaugh Bowl. To me, the big factor of the game was the J.K. Dobbins injury, but it was nice to see Lamar get another rushing touchdown. Derrick Henry still looks fresh against a pretty elite defensive line, in my opinion. Khalil Mack, he was back. He was out there. He had some good plays, but Ravens looking good. And we talked about that rough Steelers schedule to end the year. They got lost in that snow globe game on Thursday night on a prime game. And we know these divisional matchups aren't easy, especially when you have 6 of your last 8 games. And so they that game could shoot themselves in the foot, Chase. So Ravens looking solid.
Yeah. I was very happy with the Thursday night result, although the Ravens did lose a game to the Browns too. So there's not many stones I can throw at that glass house. But yeah, dominant win last night. I was a little sleepy towards halftime. I figured the way the game was going, I could see that the Ravens could have blown the game. I was just depending on how they all came out, but it seemed like they came out, got their footing. And you just got to run Derrick Henry. That's the key to the season. That's the key. If they're going to win it, they're gonna have to do it off of Derrick Henry. I don't care if he plays next year. All I have to know is that he just plays through the rest of this year. So I'm going to run the tires completely off of him. He's had a really productive career. I'm not just saying that because he's 22. If he was 22, I'd be pumping a little bit of the brakes, but he's over it. He spends like $200,000 on his body. He can handle this type of stress. And I think it's the Ravens' duty to run him out there. And I know I said over the summer that I wanted him to get 20 carries in and around that range, and I still feel like that's the way to go, because you're going to help Lamar in the passing game and in the running game too for himself. So big moves for them. I'm excited to see where they're going to go. They just have to keep it locked down here, keep an eye on the ball, and give it to King Henry in the backfield alone. Just dominate these people. I mean, and the thing is, there's just not big enough linebackers on every single team to stop him through an entire 4 quarters. And I think that's our best advantage.
Yeah. I mean, the good news for you is it sucks he's older. He takes care of his body more than anyone I've ever seen or heard of in basically any sport ever. And the Titans just spent 8 years running him into the ground, and he can still play. Last year was really rough because that was their worst year. It was easier to stop Henry at that point. And then the year before, I believe that was when he had the injury that missed 10 games in the season, right? So it's easy to say he's done, but he was just on a trash team, and he had the one big injury. But he can handle 30 carries a game, and with the threat of Lamar still running some and their passing game heating up, it's not like he has to have 30 touches. I don't know how many he had last night, but I feel like he's been in the more 20 to 25 range, which is that's lightweight for some of his 30 to 35 days in Tennessee.
Yeah. I think it's all good. And you did bring up the J.K. Dobbins injury. I just had a feeling last night it was going to happen. He just had too good of a season, and I feel like the football gods just love to punish J.K. Dobbins for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't feel like he's done anything to deserve that amount of knee injuries. Him and Nick Chubb should sue the knee injury god for the amount of losses they've had for no reason.
Yeah.
Two really good guys. But yeah, Dobbins was eating early. I was really afraid. I thought he was going to be the damage maker. And they run the committee a little too much, and then he obviously got hurt and it pulled him out. And I feel like that kind of made their team wobble a little bit. Even though I feel like they're a really structurally sound team. They have good offensive line. Herbert's a good quarterback. I don't think it's not a bad loss for the Chargers at all. You lost to a team that's a division leader, perennial Super Bowl challenger. So I feel like for the Chargers, if you're going to lose this time of year, it's good because it refocuses yourself, refocuses your team. Realize that, okay, well, when we face a stud running back, which isn't a whole lot, these are the things we got to work on. So,
yeah, and a big game in Baltimore next week against the Eagles, who have just been on fire. They had a stretch like this last year, and then they fizzled out. So we'll see what happens. But
and an ass whooping in Baltimore could definitely send them down a path like that again.
Yeah, it can. And they got the Eagles, and then they get a little bit of a easy matchup against the Giants. So
which will make close for no apparent reason, but
you got some NFC matchups though, Chase. So the Ravens are about that.
This is a time where we're gonna clean up. This is a time. I love that the NFL was like, hey, you know what? Usually we can the Ravens at the end of the year and give them all these divisional games. They lose them. It's hilarious. We love to do it. We're the NFL office, but you know what? They really pound NFC teams. We need the good ratings heading into the playoffs, so it makes sense.
Yeah. And real quick, two last points. One, Donnie dropped another comment about if the Cowboys win the rest of their divisional games, which I know they've won against the Eagles. You never know. That's kind of what I'm hanging on to. I just love the competitive play towards the end of the year. I know Ben said they're shot. They're literally 4-7. The Jets are 3-8. So in my eyes, they have a better shot. But real quick,
they're both shot.
I think we just need to talk about Saquon Barkley, who's I think pretty similar to Derrick Henry, where a lot of people thought Barkley was shot pretty on in the NFL.
MVP.
A couple of big injuries, and then he wasn't doing anything in New York. But you can see what a good offensive line, a competitive team, and just the ability to let him get out and run. Chase, you said just open the gates, let him get going. And the craziest part to me, first off, the stat line for the ages, I think most rushing yards since 2009. Ridiculous game, 250 plus rushing TDs. The craziest thing to me, and what you mainly see in these running backs as they get older and they have a couple bad injuries, is just the acceleration across the field. He has not lost that at all.
Yeah.
His juice, like you see these DBs with a head start trying to catch him as he's getting past linebackers and stuff. It's just like no chance.
Got ahead of steam.
It's ridiculous. Like I'm trying to think, like Chris Johnson, his 2,000-yard year, Adrian Peterson on the Vikings after the knee injury. Like this is like very minimal. Derrick Henry's a different, I don't want to say class, but he's a different category because he's a power back that can just steamroll everyone. And he's still the king in my eyes. But this Barkley season is ridiculous. And you guys talked about it. If anyone besides a QB could win MVP this year, who would it be? You both said Barkley before the season started. I actually checked the odds after last night. He's now fourth.
Let's go.
And so you got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Lamar Jackson plus 150, plus 250, right? So they're basically the 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff, Saquon Barkley, and Patrick Mahomes are the next three in the plus 700, plus 800 range. Then there's no one else. So we're essentially at the point in the season, everyone plays the rest of the year out. He's got a 1-in-5 shot, and he doesn't even have to do anything remotely to what he did Sunday night, again against the Rams. But if he consistently keeps doing what he's doing, jumping over guys backwards, hitting the acceleration button for 40, 50-plus yard touchdowns, maybe another 200-yard game, I don't see anything out of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, especially Patrick Mahomes, and even Jared Goff. I mean, they're running the ball absolutely insane with Montgomery and Gibbs. Jared Goff, I don't even know why he's in. And I know he
stinks. Can't win MVP when you have a 5-interception game like that.
No. So, but I'm still not going to take it because it's a quarterback league and stuff can happen. But this is cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got a legit shot.
Love to see it.
Yeah, and especially I think when I brought it up, he was low teens. Like he was not even Like there was some garbage level quarterbacks ahead of him, and he's finally got the respect of the MVP vote. Yeah, I feel like it's special. And like you said, Ryan, there's literally been no drop off. This literally looks like the Saquon Barkley that I saw at Penn State. It's the same exact guy. He's gone through major devastating injuries, and you can't even tell. You would not be able to tell. This guy blew out his ACL and had like other damage to his legs. I mean, he seems stronger than ever, faster, quicker, and just has such a grasp. Like you're like no one. There's things that he's doing that you can't even do in a video game, and I feel like there's things in a video game that you realize you can't do in real life. But then there's Saquon Barkley, who is that just he will do something that has never been done before that you think is impossible. He just does, and he makes it look so easy.
Reminds me of 2008 Michael Turner.
Okay, that's a pool right there. But if that's what you remind you of, you're definitely aging yourself a bit there, Ben. But I'm not. It's not bad.
2008 Michael Turner stats. He had a ridiculous year.
Yeah. What are they?
Just think of Michael Turner as a big bowling ball.
Yeah, he had 1,700 yards, 17 touchdowns, and he was second in the MVP.
Oh wow! Who did he lose to that year?
Oh, it says he was third here.
Oh, third?
Well, Chad Pennington and Peyton Manning.
Okay, so he was second in the MVP.
Yeah.
I'm not counting
Chad
Pennington Dolphins as the number 2. So, okay. Well, Ben, that is pretty spot on.
But Barkley, I hope he wins MVP. I would love to see someone besides a quarterback win the award.
Yeah. Especially because of how devalued the running backs have been. How no one's really respected them the last few years. They've taken a hit in money. They've really just been a position that's suffered. And now to have a guy do what he's doing on he should also get a new deal this offseason too. I mean, he's being criminally underpaid.
Yeah, and teams were basically like testing free running backs, basically like, all right, we can just win with a committee. We don't need a star running back. Like we can just have 2 average guys and be fine. But there's an elite level, like you see Barkley, Henry. There's some guys that are just on another level.
The Lions are in a unique situation, but both of their backs are very good too. I mean, a lot of these teams.
That's why Goff shouldn't, he has so many weapons. He doesn't need to do anything back there.
Yeah, I think you could put a lot of different quarterbacks back there and they would win.
You put Carson Wentz in that, I think he would win just as much, honestly, as Goff.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important too that Barkley's in it because now this year for the first time in college, it's basically between 2 position players. And I don't really remember that in recent memory. It's always just been down to at least multiple quarterbacks and 1 position player. Now this year, it seems like it's finally flipped completely on its head too. And now you have guys who are running back or wide receiver cornerback who are leading in the Heisman odds. So it's great to see these other guys get the respect that they should because they are the game changers. The quarterbacks mean a lot to a team. Obviously, if you have a shit quarterback, you're not going to play that well. But to have the exceptional playmakers you have around you and to not really consider them to be game-changing players, I think needs to change now. Yeah. And next year, offensive linemen need to get in here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and just one last thing with the Barkley thing. I think what makes it – first off, he's a rootable guy. You can't hate him. You love to see someone succeed, especially, being a veteran in the NFL. But to me, running backs now are kind of like quarterbacks, maybe 90s, early to mid 2000s, where, the running backs kind of dominate the lead. So you got this gunslinger coming out, dropping bombs down the field. Someone like Drew Brees comes into the league and just starts throwing missiles. And you're like, whoa, this is unique. This is different. It's fun to watch, right? Now the running backs have completely died. And watching Saquon Barkley is just so much fun for me because any quarterback, I mean, you're watching Herbert, Jackson, all these guys are just can become gunslingers and just bomb the ball all over the field. And the deep ball, nothing will ever surpass it. I get that. But watching a guy like Saquon Barkley in today's NFL, it's so unique that it's must watch TV. And I think all 3 of us have jumped in on the board and we're just rooting for the guy.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. And as we go on to the next topic here, we're going to touch on a little basketball, and I wanted to talk to you guys about this GOAT ranking. You might not have heard of it, but The Athletic put out this GOAT ranking. I'm not going to go into all the details, but basically they have this whole point formula for accolades. And
Is this like AI generated or just something that they kind of came up with on their own?
no, there's writers, like they basically said writers analytics and stuff. And Barkley was involved. Charles Barkley was involved. But anyway, it comes up with the top 100 players, and it basically gives a rating for each accolade, stats, everything else. I just wanted to just go through the top 10 and just see what you guys think. I'll just go through the top 10. You guys have any comments, just let me know. And we won't go farther than that. Okay, you ready?
This is their GOATs.
This is their GOATs.
Are you going 10 to 1 or 1 to 10?
What would you guys like me to do? 10 to 1 or 1 to 10?
10 to 1.
Okay,
Yeah.
then don't look at the...
All right.
Okay, number 10, Shaq.
Okay.
Number 9, Bill Russell. Number 8, Magic Johnson. 7, Larry Bird. 6, Wilt. 5, Karl Malone. 4,
Okay.
Tim Duncan. 3, Kareem. 2, MJ. And 1, LeBron.
Oh, I know it.
Okay, first, Chase, you can go first.
Ryan, I know, has his list like in his notes.
Yeah.
No joke, I have this list from 20.
Is it the same?
I have a list from 2019,
That's not the same.
and I got 8 guys. I got
Dang.
8 guys on that list. The only ones not on there,
Different order, though.
different order. The only guys I don't have on there is Oscar Robertson and Jerry West. Everyone else Ben named. Oh, I'm sorry, Larry Bird.
Larry Bird was 7.
He was 7. Yeah, he's my 8. So, okay.
All right.
I named 8 in 2019, which is kind of crazy because it's been half a decade.
Do you want to say your list quick?
Yeah, you might run through
Ryan's
it.
list is a little funky, by the way. I'll
Yeah,
just warn you.
my list 10 to 1 right now from 2019. I do have to adjust it. So I got Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, Magic, MJ at 5, LeBron at 4. Then I go Kareem, Bill Russell, and then Wilt Chamberlain at number 1. Definitely biasness, but I favor the big guy, and that's my list. I know I don't have guys like Kobe. Shaq's a big one. I don't have on there. I know Ben listed Shaq was your 10. You said per the Athletic here, but
Yeah.
on my top.
what
10.
are the thoughts here? Okay, I'm talking a lot. Karl Malone at 5. What is that?
I know. I'm a little surprised. I feel like he could have been number 10.
I don't even know if he's on there. He's not on mine. I mean,
my thing that I thought was interesting was they had here's an interesting thing. They had Steph Curry down at 27 and James Harden was at 13.
Oh, okay.
And
This-
Jokic was ahead of Curry also.
this is getting fuzzy quick. I'm not a huge Curry fan, but he won unanimous MVP.
There's some interesting ones in there, like Embiid's above, like in 34, above like Dwight Howard and Jason Kidd.
Okay.
I don't know.
So let's just go back to the
Yeah.
top 10 because it gets
Yeah.
way too hazy.
But
Yeah.
notables that are left out: Kobe at number 11,
I'm fine
All
with
right.
that.
and then
Yeah, I'm fine with
KD's
that
at
too.
12.
I'm also fine
But there's a
with that.
big drop in like the point value after Kobe, and then to Durant is a huge drop off of like the points.
So you got 11 guys
Basically, yeah.
that have a chance to be considered the GOAT.
Yeah, and the closest were Tim Duncan and Malone, who were 0.6 away from each other in the points. So
All right.
I don't mind it. I think Karl Malone, I agree. I think he's too high. I'm not the biggest. We're both not the biggest Kobe guys. I still think he's probably in that top 10.
Yeah, but we're both taking Shaq over Kobe.
Yes.
And Shaq is over Kobe,
Yes.
10 to 11.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't mind
agree
it.
with that too. I like
Yeah.
a big man.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan's surprisingly high, and I like Tim Duncan, but 4 is pretty
4
high.
for a system guy with a couple Hall of Famers
Yeah.
around. Yeah, that's tough. I mean,
I
if,
like Tim Duncan.
if
but
someone like Tim Duncan's 4, why is Curry 27?
I don't know. It's
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, you have like Curry, and then around like Moses Malone, Dirk, Chris Paul's above Curry. Like it's.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
there's stats that go into it, and Curry doesn't contribute a lot besides 3
It
balls.
kind of feels like the only person that cared about putting on this list in their position was LeBron. And then they're like, well, no, that's not. We don't really care how this shakes out.
Yeah, they emphasized the LeBron 1
Yeah,
and
it's like,
NBA 2 for like
okay.
modern day.
There's a whole article above it explaining the points and how they're doing it, but it's long, and I didn't read all of it. So I just thought it was interesting. It's something different. It's they're quantitating it to some extent. So if they're quantitating it to some extent, I appreciate that. They're not just like putting out some random list. At least they put some effort into it.
Yeah, so it's not some list that Skip Bayless wrote up on his toilet.
Yeah, no, there's some
It's
effort.
not the Kevin Garnett podcast. Let's see
Yeah.
who would you like to play against in your starting 5 team,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
I ultimately it tracks. I mean, I matched with 8. It's
not a bad list.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, I feel like you're onto something with like your top 10 right there.
Yeah. I feel like big guys are just it's kind of like the running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
I still think you I mean, there's instances like the Warriors, right? But yeah, I mean Kareem at 3, I like that. LeBron, MJ, they're gonna be the big 2 always. I think our generation's always gonna say LeBron. I think the generation above us, Gen X, they're always gonna say MJ. I mean, I was at work the other day and I was talking to this one guy I worked with, and he had like an MJ cup on his desk. And I was like, "Oh, you an NBA fan?" "Oh, no, not really. But I watched a lot of basketball back in the 90s and early 2000s, and I was a huge Jordan fan." I was like, "Oh, really?" He proceeded to tell me Michael Jordan's birth date, his middle name, and like exact dates where he had like big moments or big games. And
oh my gosh.
That's just one guy. So a lot of one thing I wish I could have seen was him playing his prime. I'm sure no social media, not all these talk shows, probably less haters, which you can sometimes like guys more when you don't go into the comments section on Twitter or Instagram and see some people badmouth, and that could deter you a little bit. But it's definitely LeBron, MJ 1, 2.
Jordan would get hosed in the media now if he did some of the stuff he did when he was playing.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting list. So we can some past GOATs in there and some past good players. We talk some modern NBA quick. Yeah.
I cannot believe 5 years ago I threw together a list.
I think
my head, and I met
me, you, and did Hef do one too?
Yeah.
I gotta find
during
mine.
COVID.
I think I have a list somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think I have a top 10 list. I'll put one together.
Yeah, I'll make sure I find mine.
I was thinking about the only person I might not put in is KD. So I would have to just check into it, but
yeah. All right. Well, modern NBA. What do you got?
Chase, let's just get right into it. Sixers are 3-13.
Still feeling good.
16 games. Big Three's played 1 game together. Only 4.5 games out of the 6th seed because the East is doing East things and they're not good right now. When do we hit the panic button?
I would say Christmas Day.
Okay.
I think if we're not seeing any signs of life, I don't know what you do. I don't even know what you do.
I know.
Because I don't think you can trade people you sign until actually after that time frame anyways. I think you can trade them in January. So if you decide you're going to move on from Paul George, you have to match the salary, find somebody that's willing to do that, and probably take a loss on that.
The problem with doing that too is it's just like it sets that precedent for free agents coming there that like you might just move on with him like with that quickly. I don't know. It's one of those tough things that
I think Chase nailed it. If we get to Christmas Day and showing no signs of improvement or consistency with who's on the court, I don't know.
And I think they have a Christmas Day matchup, right? Don't they play on Christmas Day?
Yeah, they do. I forget who they play. We'll have to get stats.
Yeah, so national game. I think if you lose, you still have a losing record. You send Nick Nurse back to wherever he came from. You trade Paul George, and you get a really high lottery pick, which won't mean anything because there's no generational talent in this draft. So it'll be a waste, but we'll get a top overall pick.
You get to play at 5 p.m. at night in Boston.
Oh, well, that will be a 20-point ass whooping.
But a game like that, Chase, they're 10 games under. There's a month till Christmas. So just spitballing, they're probably going to have 15-ish games or so. There's a high chance we don't have a winning record, but they go 8-7, 10-5, 11-4. Maybe they're 9-6, right? They go into Christmas Day, they beat Boston on Christmas Day. That could easily be a turning point for their season, like you said. But
I'm just saying also, if anyone wants to go, like game against Orlando in like a week at home in Philly, tickets start at $7.
I haven't seen those prices since the process era.
So
$7.
Do they play with the Wizards at all? I'd go to a game.
Yeah, definitely.
They're pretty much paying you to go to the game.
Oh, Washington.
Yeah, until like the fees get you. Still.
Oh yeah, it'll be a $25 ticket, and nothing in there you can buy for less than $10. So
yeah, but yeah, there's not much to say. There's a lot of Embiid hate out there. I personally, I'm not a fan of it. One, because of how much he's already given to the franchise, the team, the city. His will to play through tough situations. I think a lot of this still isn't his fault. And he's a 7'2" guy that's been in the league for just about a decade. It's hard. But I don't see Kawhi Leonard, Zion Williamson, some of these guys. Zion gets some hate. I don't see it. Maybe it's because I'm not on those teams, a part of those fan bases. But it just seems like Embiid's getting a lot of hate right now. It does concern me a little bit. You start to get in your ear a little bit about it, but I've heard things like a Shaq run in Miami type of feel. Like maybe we can get something like that going. And Embiid won MVP 2 years ago, and he was still playing at that level last year. I'm not done with him. I just hope that he is like physically able to get healthy enough to at least play even like at 80%. His full strength is 80% MVP Embiid. I'll take it.
Yeah. And I would have to say this has been the year of teams who looked like absolute hot trash making the playoffs. So I still I'm not like totally giving up hope. We talked all summer, all year, even into last year of teams like, oh, I don't know, they might make it, they barely make it, they get in, and then they just go on an insane run in the playoffs. And I don't think the Sixers roster is this bad. I think they have way too many talented veterans to at least be able to get it going. Like, if they would have had their big three and a bunch of rookies and undrafted guys, okay, maybe, but they have way too many guys who have played good minutes in the NBA in the past, have been starters, have experience, been to the playoffs, been on winning teams to know how to get back to that point. So
yeah,
I think it also just they haven't gelled together. They've had Embiid out, then Maxi's out, then Paul George hyperextends his knee every other 7 minutes. So it's hard to like keep continuity going when you just have your main guys not in. Now you are having to rely on the bench guys, and I think they're at the point in their careers where they aren't really starters anymore. So you're putting yourself in a deficit. But I think if they get together, they get all healthy, they get on the same page, they start bitching at each other to step it up, then I think that's when we'll see a run. But they do, I think by Christmas is like the date that you have to get it right. It's a must-win game, even right now. Even if you still lose the next 10 games, you still have to win that national game. So everyone's going to be watching. Line on the line.
Yeah, we're a month and a half into the NBA season. The Sixers have one win in regulation.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad. So
they're letting the Flyers stink get into their locker room, and I'm pretty sure they don't share the same locker room.
Yeah, for sure.
And that team's trying to lose. I don't really care that they are losing. It is what it is. But the Sixers, you can't spend that much money and have this result, and also just have all the drama we've had.
Yeah.
All these coaches change, all the GMs change, and it's still the same product all the time. I don't think they understand it. Like, When we
The
had Jimmy
culture's
Butler, it
never-
was definitely our best chance to win. We let him go, and then we've just been downhill ever since then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like a culture curse since that Butler miniature era there. So
Yeah.
not that it was great before, but
No, but you were there. You were on the precipice, and
yeah.
it feels like they don't. It feels like they don't have the same urgency as we do. It feels like Josh Harris really cares about football and building this dumb stadium in Chinatown, which no one ever wanted and no one wants. And it's like, that's great. I'm glad you want to do all this stuff, but can you actually just focus on winning the NBA?
Yeah.
For
We ain't
once?
no LA Clippers. We don't need a brand new light up seat stadium in Inglewood.
Yeah, I don't care. They could literally set up a lot in the parking lot, set up hoops in the parking lot. I would still go. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to know they're going to win.
Yeah.
Finally, just put together a team that wins from the start of the season till the end of the season. Not, oh, we have to wait. Oh, this guy sucks. Oh, this guy's not playing for us. Oh, this guy hates us
Yeah.
and he's sitting out. Like, we're paying these guys so much money and they don't do anything about it. And Josh Harris, I just see him all the time at Washington Commanders games, stuffing his face with whoever knows what from the Commanders Stadium. No one cares. I hate seeing his face.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm sure the Devils fans are annoyed at him too. Pick a sport and pick a lane, buddy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Josh Harris fan, but yeah, he's got the Sixers, the New Jersey Devils for hockey, and now the
Commanders. It's the ugliest portfolio of teams I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, we could.
Really?
I don't want to really get into Josh Harris too much. I'm not a huge fan of him either. So.
All right. Well, that was I think we'll end it there. I think that was a good mix of some sports. Talk some baseball, football, basketball. We'll have more to talk about next week. We hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving, safe Thanksgiving, enjoys time with family. It's good food, and we will see you guys on the other end of it.
Yeah. Next Tuesday, 7:30, 7:45 Eastern. Mm-hmm. We'll be back on it here.
Yeah.
December 3rd is the date.
As we get into college football, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And as we get into December, we'll change around our days a little bit with New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve on a Tuesday. So we'll record on different days.
Figure it out.
All right. Next time.
Yeah.
We'll see you.
Ben Ryan Chase out.